Uh, Hello, I hope you can see my slides. Let me start. So, good morning, everyone. It's really honored to present in the final round of the Young Woman Scientist Global Webinar. I would also like to thank to the reviewer who gave the feedbacks. I have carefully reflected in today's talk. So, my name is Yun Kwon, and I am a PhD candidate in environmental engineering at Korea University. Today, I will show how the drone equipped with a hyperspectral camera and guided by AI can help desalination plant continue producing clean water during harmful algal blooms. And my research may contribute to society by supporting safer and more reliable freshwater production during harmful algal blooms through improved source water monitoring. Let me start with the problem. And climate change is making harmful algal blooms or HABs more frequent, more intense, and more widespread. As shown in the left figure, we can see the rising trends of global reported harmful algal bloom occurrences. Then why does this matter so much? Because about half of the world population lives near a coast, and more than 300 million people now depend on desalination for their drinking water. So a bloom in the sea is no longer just an ecological event, but it's direct threat to stable, reliable freshwater production. In other words, harmful algal blooms are both an environmental problem and water security problem. Uh, the clearest example is the 2008 bloom in the Gulf of Oman. It became the reference case for whole desalination industry. During that bloom, some plants were forced offline for up to 4 months. At the Fujairah plant in the United Arab Emirates, which produced 178,000 cubic meters of the water per day, the reverse osmosis desalination system was shut down for more than a week. The chart on the right shows what happened. Normally, the filters could run for 24 hours before they needed cleaning. However, during the bloom, they lasted only 2 hours. 2 hours. The water contained so much algal cells that the system could no longer operate normally. So, what happens to the city water desalination plant when a harmful algal bloom occurs? This is a typical desalination process. First, the intake screens clog as algal cells and debris pile up. Second, the fine filters foul with the algal cell particles, so they need constant backwashing and lose capacity. And third, the sticky organic matter release promotes biofilm growth on the reverse osmosis membrane, which is the most expensive part to damage. So poor source water directly reduces how much water the plant can make, and that is why good monitoring technology is the key to responding early. But plant operators don't act on the word algae. They act on few specific water quality indicators. So my research predict these three indicators. First, silt density index. So SDI answers how quickly does the water clog a filter. A high SDI means that the water will follow the plant very fast. It's a number that plant's engineer or plant operators check very fast. And second is total organic carbon. TOC is how much organic material is dissolved in the water. And a high organic content feed the microbes that grow on the membranes. And lastly, transparent expolymer particles. TP is the invisible and sticky gel-like materials that algae release, and it's an early warning sign of the biofouling. So if I can predict SDI, TOC, and TP, I'm giving the water quality indicators in the number that plant operators can actually and um, directly use. So how do we measure those numbers during algal bloom? Today, there are three different methods, and each has limitation. Satellite can monitor a large area, but each pixel may cover hundreds of meters, and this makes it difficult to detect small bloom hotspots near the plant. And satellite images also cannot directly provide the key water quality indicators for desalination, such as SDI, TOC, and TP. And in situ sensors provide continuous reading, but only at a single fixed point. They cannot capture how the bloom varies across space. And lastly, the lab sampling is accurate, but it's very slow, costly, and tells you about the few spots you sampled. Therefore, my approach uses unmanned aerial vehicle, we also known as drone, so drone hyperspectral imaging and AI to fill this gap. The drone quickly produces high-resolution maps around the plant intake spots. Then the AI uses these images to estimate SDI, TOC, and TEP. So how do we turn a drone flight image into the useful risk information then? This workflow shows that 2025 Hadong red tide in Korea. We used two different drones. One drone captures hyperspectral images, and the other drone collected water sample from the same locations. At each sampling point, we also measured SDI, TOC, and TP. As shown in the table, the measurement covered a wide range of the water quality conditions. SDI ranged up from about 1 to 7, and TOC and TEP reached approximately 29 milligram per liter and 25 microgram per liter, respectively. This allowed us to capture a wide range source water conditions. We then used these paired spectral and water quality data to train the AI model. The model produces maps of SDI, TOC, and TEP. And on the right figure, from top to bottom, the map shows conditions before the bloom and at the bloom peak and right after treatment, or we call post-treatment. The key point is that we can now map fouling risk across space rather than measure it only one point. Now, then how does the AI work? It follows three steps. First, we pre-process the spectral data from the hyperspectral images. Second, we train a CNN model, which is one of the deep learning model using spectral signals as the inputs and laboratory measured values such as SDI, TOC, and TP as the target outputs. Once trained, the model estimates these indicators from the spectrum of each pixel. Then we got the model achieved R squared value of 0.7 for 0.87 for SDI and 0.78 for TOC and 0.65 for TEP. Among the three indicators, SDI was predicted most accurately. And third, we identified the wavelength bands that are most important for each prediction. The maps show higher SDI and TOC where the bloom is concentrated. This indicates increased fouling risk at the bloom peak. But after the treatment, the water looks clear in our naked eyes. However, TP signals still remain in the map. This reveals a hidden residual risk that cannot be seen in the naked eyes. This study was also recently published in in the journal Water Research. The same idea reaches far beyond desalination. Anywhere we need fast, close-up water sensing, one drone flight can become quantitative water quality map. That include protecting drinking water reservoirs, tracking pollution in rivers, and safeguarding fish farms, responding to chemical or oil spills, monitoring coastal ecosystems, and producing spatial data for water security policy. This approach has the potential to support a wider range of the water and environmental monitoring applications in the future. These contribute to society in two main ways. First is support the adaptation by enabling earlier warning, spatial source water assessment, and more proactive pretreatment for or overall process planning. And second is support mitigation by reducing unnecessary energy and chemical use through more targeted operation. To conclude, harmful algal blooms are becoming a greater threat to our water supply. By combining drones, hyperspectral imaging, and AI, we can detect these risks early and help desalination plant keep producing clean water. Thank you very much for your attention. I would happy to answer any questions.